Finally today, as more and more combines hit the field for harvest, it might be a good idea to check certain parts of your combine to ensure you're not spreading seeds from invasive weeds from one field to the other. Market Journal's Bill Dodd brings us some good advice from this year's Soybean Management Field Days.
It's time once again for producers to get the combines out in the fields. However, for producers dealing with weeds such as palmer amaranth and water hemp on their operation, it would be a good idea to clean out certain areas of your combine in the middle of harvesting a field or before moving to another. Daniel Smith is the Southwest Regional Agronomist for the University of Wisconsin, and he spent several days during Nebraska Extension's Soybean Management Field Days giving Nebraska producers some insight into how they can limit the spread of weeds in their fields by making sure that they clean out their combines as they move throughout the process of harvest.
So the combine does an excellent job of harvesting our palmer amaranth and water hemp seeds. 99% of those seeds are retained until harvest, and the combine mechanically separates those from the plant and spread those out. However, a lot of those seeds that don't get blown through the combine get hung up on the head, the feeder house, the rock trap, the rotor, and stick around and then get redeposited out throughout the next field. So we want to try and minimize the spread of those weed seeds by doing a combine clean out maybe between weedy fields, or maybe even within the field. If there's one weedy patch in that entire large field, it might pay to just stop, clean out those weed seeds, prevent them from causing future problems.
When it comes to cleaning out the combine, there are a few specific areas you should focus on. Taking the time to accomplish these tasks will pale in comparison to dealing with the weeds that could sprout after the seeds have been spread around your fields. Within about 30 minutes, you could greatly reduce the need to spray for these weeds during the following growing season, cutting down on both labor and input costs. However, you should consider a few safety aspects before you get started.
So a lot of researchers have done some work on where weed seeds hide in combines and how combines spread seeds. We can figure out how to clean those areas in about 30 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean the combine head, we're going to clean out the feeder house and the rock trap. Moving further into the combine is beneficial for cleaning out fire hazards and that biomass that accumulates in the combine, but more than likely it does not contain a significant amount of weed seeds. So getting those weed seeds out of especially the feeder house and off the head are going to really prevent those weed seeds from migrating to the next field. Consider safety when we're doing this. We want to read, follow, and understand all the safety equipment for the combine and the cleaning equipment, but also wear a really good dust mask / respirator, eye protection, and ear protection.
Besides keeping your combine clean, there are other means of seed deposit that should be taken into account. Waterfowl are very common in Nebraska fields as winter and spring migrations take place. Waterfowl such as geese and ducks are notorious for aiding the spread of seeds from particularly problematic weeds. While little to nothing can be done about this particular means of seed scatter, it can be helpful to keep track of where these birds tend to congregate in your fields.
Right, so waterfowl are really good at moving seeds between fields and between farms. We can't do anything about it, but we can anticipate that. So there's been some research done showing how great they move palmer amaranth and water hemp seed. So if we're having a lot of waterfowl land in our field, or if we farm near a lake or a creek, we can anticipate there being weed species being deposited there maybe every year. Just scout for those, look for those weeds emerging, and have a plan to control them.
As row crop producers seem to have higher and higher input costs every year when it comes to weed suppression tools, this particular strategy could help reduce the number of weeds in your fields, as well as contribute to the ever-growing concern of reduced efficacy with several weed control options such as glyphosate.
This is a small part of an integrated approach, so this contributes to our other weed control strategies. We're not going to eliminate every single weed seed on our farm with combine cleaning, but it can be a tool that we add to the toolbox that we're not going to see a resistant concern occur later down the road, and it's a 30-minute investment with very minimal investment in equipment. Our weed control tactics are getting more expensive every year. We want to just minimize the amount of weed seed that's germinating the next season and putting pressure on those tools.
As combines continue to roll through the fields this fall, it may be worth the extra time to keep your combine as clean as possible to ensure you're doing everything you can to reduce weed populations around your operation. Not only could this save you from reduced yields and higher input costs during the growing season, but could also help decrease the likelihood of resistance to more traditional means of weed suppression. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.